Alex Berg. The matrix of leadership is to you, old friend. Transform and roll out.
All right, welcome back to the Firemark Sessions. I'm Alex Berg, again with Goose, Gallow. What's going on, Jason?
Hey, another day in paradise,
Another
my
day
friend.
in paradise. We're going to talk some college sports. Obviously, go Gators.
A little bit. Go Gators.
Yeah,
go
let's
Gators.
go. Let's go. We were blessed to recently be at Rupp Arena and watch a little Gators dub in Rupp.
Yeah, something that doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah,
a little
was
Gators
exciting.
W at Rupp.
Yeah, so we're good to go. We're ready to go rocking and rolling. We're gonna do a little football recap though first. Second year of the 12-team playoff. Much more entertaining this year than last year. Last year was a complete dud. I mean, the Penn State Notre Dame game was good, came down to a last-second field goal, but almost every other game was like a complete blowout.
Yeah.
And this had some exciting games. I mean, that Miami Ole Miss game was great. You know, the only team that was dominant was the team that won it all was Indiana. I mean, they were crushing everybody. Miami had their chances. They went to the title game. They were hosting it.
Yeah.
You know how we feel about that. It's not uncanny, Miami fans. Kurt Signetti, dude is next level elite. Like, who the hell was this guy? You never heard of him 2 years ago. I mean,
granted, yes, but and it's unbelievable. He is. I honestly wanted him to coach my Dolphins, but hey, he's a college guy and he's taken Indiana to places that the basketball team wishes they could go.
I know. He doesn't even smile.
Yeah,
I think he smiled once, like when they won the national championship.
He's definitely a grumpus.
Yeah, he's a grumpus. So I just want to get into a thing that I've been trying to work on for like a long time. I hate the college football system. It's too subjective to the committee, to this, and it's been like that for years. You know, you had the AP, the Bowl Alliance, the Bowl Coalition, the BCS, the 4-team playoff, the 12-team playoff. None of it works for me. I first of all, the conferences are too big. And even the way that they determine the conference champions makes absolutely no sense. So I came up with a system, and I'm not going to go into all the details of the system, but I want to get your thoughts. And basically the system is this. You take the conferences. You first of all, to qualify, the only thing subjective I'm going to use the top 25. I'll use the selection committee top 25. Okay. If at the end of the regular season, your conference has a team in the top 25, then your conference qualifies for the playoff. That doesn't mean that team qualifies. That means your conference qualifies. So what it is, like James Madison, I can't remember what conference they're in, their conference would qualify. So what you do is you take all the teams in that conference and you rank them based on their record, okay? And you seed them, just like college basketball. You seed them. Like, let's do SEC. It's easy. You got 16 teams. You seed them 1 to 16, and then you match them up. 1 plays 16, 2 plays 15, and you build a bracket. And you use the actual matchups of when they played as the results of the game because they played in the regular season. So you match them up all the way until you get a winner, and that's it.
But what about if you have teams that don't play in the regular season?
Teams that don't play in the regular season, you have to find some other metrics. So you go, like, I kind of base it all on NFL tiebreaker. So you go to, like, record versus common opponent, or point differential in common games, or something like that. You find some sort of measure. The best thing to do is if they play each other, obviously. But if they don't play each other, you have to find a way to go ahead and match them up with analytics that are on the field, and not just some arbitrary, ranking here or whatever, or these are the top 2 teams. I mean, they had chaos in the ACC where they put Duke and, what was it, SMU or whoever they played in the championship game. No, it wasn't SMU.
No, I think it was Duke and Clemson.
No, Duke won. It was Virginia.
Virginia. Yeah.
You put Duke and Virginia in, but like SMU and Miami and one other team, they all had the same record, and then they're left out from and every conference has different tiebreakers to determine who they're putting in these games. None of that. That all goes away. So at the end of the day, you end up with your conference champions. Because in my opinion, if you don't win your conference, you can't win the national championship. If you're not the best team in your conference, you're not the best team in the country. It's the most logical, obvious explanation I ever heard of. If you're not the best team in your conference, you're not the best team in your country. Right?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes and no. Yeah. Yes, that statement sounds great on paper.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. In reality, you're going to tell me that you have the same team in the beginning of the year that you do at the end of the season? It matters in college basketball. You want to talk about the teams that get hot with their bigger wins and stuff like that. the teams that get hot towards the end. I mean, if you're going to
You're
tell
only
me
playing 12 games. Get up for these 12 games. You're only playing 12 games.
okay, but I mean, you've been long enough college football
You
fan
have
to know.
spring practice. You have all these practices. You know your team.
You do, but you can also have an off day where, what happens is your quarterback gets knocked out one game and he comes back the next game.
Okay.
I mean, and you lost a 1 point on the road in the SEC to a tough, team. You're going to tell me that both those teams shouldn't play? Like, when you had Alabama, Georgia playing all those years, let's say we go by your system, you're telling me that the year that Alabama won it and Georgia didn't, Georgia couldn't have competed to compete in the national championship?
There's a lot of teams
versa?
that can compete for a title, but if you've beaten each other on the field, the year that Alabama replayed LSU in the national title game in 2011 was ridiculous. LSU won that game, won the first game. That's it. You don't need to play again. Alabama didn't even make the conference championship game.
But they were the clear two best. It was beyond clear how they were the two best.
Then they
teams in
shouldn't
the
even have
country.
had a title game because LSU already played Alabama and LSU won. It's not a best 2 out of 3. It's not. It drives me crazy. Why is Alabama the national championship that year? Do you know why they're the national championship? Because they won a game in January and not in November. That's what it comes down to. It is ridiculous. I had done this in the NFL as well. They had, I think it was last year, the Washington played Tampa. Okay, they played in the regular season and Tampa won by like 14 points, let's say. And then they played in January and Washington won by 3. Same two teams, same NFL football game, same rules, but Washington advances in the playoffs. And the reason why they advance, but if you analytically took these teams, you'd be like, hey, these two teams played, and one team won by 14, one time the other team won by 3. On paper, you would be like, well, this team's better. They won the one game by 14. But Washington advances, and the only reason they advance is because they played the game in January instead of November. And what month you play should have no bearing on when you advance in the playoffs. That's ridiculous.
Again, that's a good idea in theory and on paper. In actuality, how can you say that? Then what's the point of even having playoffs? If you have teams that
Playoffs.
Don't talk about playoffs. I mean, come on. If you have teams that played in the regular season, okay. So let's say Dolphins, Bills, whatever. They played and the Dolphins swept the Bills one year. And they happen to meet in the playoffs. The Bills win. You're going to tell me the Dolphins should move on to the Super Bowl or something because they won twice and the Bills...
Yes.
No.
The Dolphins are a better team. They've played 3 times and the Dolphins won twice. In hockey and basketball, we play a best out of 7 series. The team that wins 4 out of 7 advances. If Colorado's playing Dallas in hockey and Colorado wins all 4 games in the regular season against Dallas, right?
Okay.
But then Dallas beats Colorado 7 games...
Yeah, 4 out of 7.
I mean, you have to combine all the times the two teams played each other, and whoever has the more amount of wins is the better team. When you run the same test over and over and you get the same result.
Okay, but you're negating the whole notion that teams are different in the regular December and January than they are in September. It shouldn't be that way. Again, on paper, I get it. You should be as good in September as you are in January. You're the same team, but that's not reality. You and I have watched sports and football long enough to know that the Giants, when they knocked off the Patriots,
Shouldn't happen.
They were terrible, but
right.
They had a run in that playoffs that was they tore through that playoffs. You're going to tell me that team didn't deserve to win? That team didn't deserve to win.
Not a 9-7 team. Just because they got hot and won 3 games. I mean, it's crazy. We've had that happen in college basketball all the time.
Any team can get hot and win 3 games in the playoffs
Right.
if you're in there. It's win your games.
Yeah.
Win your games.
But it's an invitational. You're inviting all these teams in, and then you're expanding. You're making more wild card teams. I mean, we're getting sidetracked with NFL, but and the same with college though. Now we have 12 teams in it, so now you got to play more games.
Oh, it's going to keep getting more because there's more money, more games, more money.
But that being said, on my formula and my system, it actually worked out because Miami ended up playing Indiana in the championship game in my system, and it worked out.
In your system, would Miami have won?
No, because you use an actual game that they played.
Oh, I know. I was kind of kidding.
So they played each other and Indiana won, so you didn't have to.
I understand that, but you're looking at it like you have a situation, and because it happened to fit the facts, okay, let's go with it. But there are plenty of times where
No, I said last year I did the system and I had Penn State. Penn State won the whole thing. So it's different.
Yeah, but did you really think Penn State was the team that deserved to win it all last year?
I mean they were in the semifinals against Notre Dame and they lost by a field goal.
Yeah, because of look who they played in who'd they play in the first round. I mean, come on.
But that was their playoff system. But on paper, when you did the analytics and you broke it down and how they won their division and how they matched up with other teams that were in other conferences, they were the better team.
Didn't they lose in the conference championship game to Ohio State? Or no?
They lost to Oregon, but
Oregon,
keep in mind,
Yeah.
that championship game is not my championship game.
Gotcha.
It's different because it breaks down on the bracket.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Miami had played Indiana, but Miami didn't play in the ACC title game in reality.
Mm-hmm.
But they won the ACC tournament that I made up with the bracket of rankings.
I get that. I feel though football more than any other sport, and I'm not saying this is like a scientific thing or anything like that. Football more than any other sport is mano-a-mano, one time. You're lined up, your best are lined up against my best,
right.
and that's it. Let's butt our heads and let's see who comes out winning the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's you have a Super Bowl. There's not a World Bowl for baseball. It's a World Series.
Yeah.
You have an NBA Finals. You have a Stanley Cup Finals.
Right.
You have the series. Football has always stood on its own, pedestal, if you want.
One game, winner take all.
One game, mano-a-mano, winner take all. Mm-hmm. Your best against my best. Let's do it.
Right.
That's just the tradition of football, and I don't think fans want that to change. Do you really? Right. Do you want to see Did you want to see the Giants and Patriots play 4 out of 7 times? The Patriots would have won 6 of them.
Well, in my system, the Giants wouldn't even have made the playoffs.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't have had that crazy exciting Super Bowl.
But you could have had an even more exciting. You could have a more exciting Super Bowl. Who knows who would have played?
Well, that's what I'm. But you don't know who would play, and you could have had a more exciting Super Bowl, but you would not have had the exciting Super Bowl you did have.
Right. I mean, but anybody, any of the matchups could have happened. I want to see champions that are actual deserved champions. You win your division, you win your conference, you win the championship. But we can get into it another time on the other stuff.
I got
that wasn't even part of our debate time. We're going to start off our debate segment here with our number one question.
We're going debate early.
That was question 0.
That was question patient 0.
Yeah.
Question 0.
Question 1: Conference championship games in college football are meaningless. You still have the pride to play for a conference championship, in my opinion.
Agreed.
I think the format needs to be changed. The arbitrary winning of them is or assigning the 2 teams based on record when you have an unbalanced schedule, that completely needs to be changed. You can't have a good record playing the crap teams. Mm-hmm. And, it's not even a balance. It's not even a balance like NFL does where you get last place one year and then you have an easier schedule the following year. It's all just done at random.
Yeah.
You're just throwing dice at the wall. It's stupid. So you just get hot and you have the easy schedule and you make you're not deserving of another team that had to play the top teams. That being said, I think there's a lot of pride to win your conference championship. My thoughts. Your thoughts?
I agree. I agree with part of what you're saying. I don't think the conference championships are meaningless because you have the legacy and tradition. You have that. That's part of it. It helps with the seedings also. Because we're not in I know in your system, I get it. You're one team per conference kind of thing. That's where you're going. I don't see that because anybody with the, using the eye test, you can see when there are 2 teams in one conference that the second team in that conference is far better than 99.9% of all other teams out there. You can see it. It happens over and over again. So it's I think people would be more out of sorts to see a team that has no business making it, where a team that everybody uses their eyes and be like, yeah, that's the second best team in in the country. They happen to be the second best team in their conference, but they're the second best team in the country. Who can keep the second best team in the country out of a playoffs or out of a championship?
Like you said, take Alabama and Georgia, for example. If Alabama and Georgia played in the regular season and Alabama won, then Alabama and Georgia again played in the SEC championship game and Alabama won. And Alabama and Georgia played in the national championship game, but Georgia won. Georgia's the best team?
Okay, but not necessarily.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
not
my argument.
Not necessarily, but you have, but you can't get just because a team won twice before and didn't win when it was. You knew what was on the line. You didn't win it at that point. It's a championship game. It's not championship games.
I get it.
Yeah.
I'm going to disagree till the cows come home with that bit. All right.
All right.
Number 2, NIL ruining college sports, football, basketball, all these sports. It's hard. I don't like it, but I do like it because it really helps with recruiting. I mean, I know the haves are going to have more than the have-nots, but we also follow professional sports, and that's the same way that works. The Florida Marlins, the Colorado Rockies, they're not going to, small market teams, the Oakland, bum whatever, A's, wherever city they're in right now, they're not going to win. And the haves, the Dodgers and stuff like that, they win. So the teams that, have the money and they're going to spend the money, they're the ones that are going to win. It's an unfortunate system, but that's the way it is. But somehow Indiana pulled it together and they got it to work. So I don't know how much NIL money was thrown to Fernando Mendoza and all these players. Kurt Signetti, he got them to believe in whatever and stay another year. I mean, college sports has always been a minor league system for the pros.
Absolutely.
So if that's going to help them understand how it works in the pros, I'm okay. But I don't think NIL is ruining it as bad as people say.
Well, thank you for help making my point.
Okay.
I would say
I talk myself in a corner here?
Absolutely. The NIL, as currently constructed, is absolutely ruining college sports.
Okay.
As currently constructed.
Okay.
I have an idea on that you can make. There are a couple changes. Yes, they'd have to be big changes, but a couple changes, and NIL could flourish, could be the star of stars, if anything. You need a salary cap and a collective bargaining agreement.
Okay.
You have to have those things.
I mean, you're turning into a pro agency at this point. Then you need a commissioner.
But that's what it is. Yeah, you need a commissioner.
Right.
Like
an overall commissioner, not the individual conference commissioner.
No, an NCAA commissioner, 100%. You need that. You need a salary cap and a collective bargaining agreement. What did we just say? It's a minor league. Minor league is still professional, but it's minor. These are the minor leagues for the NFL.
Right.
It's you and also, what is it with it's the Wild West? What is it where I play, I'm on the Gators one year. Next year I'm on Tennessee. Next year I'm on UCLA. I want to play my 5th year on Indiana or what? It's the Wild West. I'm sorry. It used to be where I get it. It was an archaic system where you transferred, you have to sit out a year, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I get it. You should have only 2 transfers in your entire college career. That's it. Sorry. Max 2 transfers. Mm-hmm. There is no reason to say that you should be able to go here to here to here to here to here to here to here.
Yeah.
NFL contracts are longer than a year. I mean, most of them. I mean, some sign 1-year deals, but
they're all 1-year contracts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're all literally everybody has a 1-year contract in college football, and that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, you should change it too. Yeah, you should have longer contracts.
Longer contracts, and you should limit the amount 1 to 2 times transfer. I'm good either way.
Right.
1 transfer, 2 transfers, whatever. I am totally good because, I mean, look at I'm going to give you, I mean, I'm glad it happened to Tennessee because, no offense, not a Tennessee fan.
Right.
But the Nico Amaliva.
Yeah.
I'm a
leave Tennessee.
I'm a leave
Tennessee.
Tennessee. Yeah. That guy had poor people advising him.
Right.
I mean, that was the most ridiculous situation. He had signed a contract, and in a court of law, if this wasn't like kids in the NCAA, Tennessee could take him to court and say, no, you signed a contract, honor your contract, damn it.
Yeah.
And it's NIL as currently constructed is absolutely ruining college sports, but you can fix it. It's fixable. And it's just we're trying to compensate for all those years of players not getting paid.
Yeah.
We're overcompensating.
Too much too soon, and they open up a Pandora's box with it, but it is what it is. Yeah. All right, number 3. We're going to college basketball right now. Miami of Ohio, they finished their undefeated season 31-0 as conference tournaments start to play, so they'll obviously be the 1 seed in the MAC. If they lose in the MAC conference tournament and they don't win the tournament, are they still in the NCAA tournament? I say yes. I understand their strength of schedule is poor. I understand they have 0 quad 1 wins. And they, I think, maybe have one quad 2 win. Like their schedule sucks. I mean, they're playing Sisters of the Poor. They're playing, the Nuns of Wisconsin. Everything. Their schedule is terrible. But undefeated is undefeated. They came out and showed up They didn't have a bad game. College basketball, the margin is close. I mean, all these kids can shoot. All these kids can play. I mean, you're not having like some disparity like you have in college football.
More players. You have more players in college football than you
yeah,
know
well,
in
that too.
obviously.
Right. So I think they absolutely belong in the tournament, even with the loss. Maybe you don't rate them a high seed. Your thoughts?
My thoughts are, I'm okay if they're in if they make the tournament as like a play-in. You're giving them literally the 68th seed, like the last.
Really?
Yeah.
So they get in, but just barely.
Barely.
They're like a bubble undefeated or one-loss team.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I'm sorry, you look at that schedule and did you play Hollywood Hills High School? Shout out to my high school.
Yeah.
It's you're scheduling like high school plus basketball games. I get it. The small school schedule one game, get one quad 1 game, where you at least you have a shot. So maybe you lose that game, but you at least say, hey, we kept it close. We lost on a 3-pointer at the end, but we kept it close. We played Arizona. I'm just going to throw out a team. We played Arizona real tight. And hey, they won on the final possession. Schedule better teams. I'm okay with them if they get in as literally like the 68th seed in the play-in. But if they don't get in, I'm okay with that too. They
Really?
schedule some quad 1 teams. I'm sorry.
Right.
Like schedule quad 1 teams.
So we were talking about this before. The highest at large is probably like a 12.
You're 11.
Probably
12 or
11.
Yeah,
11 or
yeah.
12.
Yeah.
So, 33, they're 31-0 right now. 33-1, 32-1. 11 seeds too high for them. 12 seeds too high.
Schedule quad 1 games.
I got you. Okay.
Sorry, Miami of Ohio, schedule Miami of Florida. Okay. Have an all Miami battle. There you go.
Right. Well, maybe this would be a good conversation to have to see where it shakes out. If they lose if they lose, I think they're getting in. I still think they're getting in.
I agree. I think they're going to get in.
I think they're getting in. I think they're going to be a low seed, and they'll get in.
Oh, they'll be in the play-in. They'll be in the play-in.
There might be an argument, too. I don't think they'll be in the play-in because they don't usually schedule non-Power 5 teams on the 11 line.
Oh,
so they're not going to be on the 16 line. They're going to get in. They're going to get in as a 12, 13, 14 seed.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, but then what happens if they? I get it.
A lot can happen. It's very interesting.
They can win a first-round game.
If they win a first-round game, then they're going to have no argument. If they lose a first-round game by 40, then everybody's going to be like, let's evaluate this.
Yes.
So it's going to be real interesting to see how it shakes out.
It is. And, I mean, I'm going to lean more towards that they would probably keep it close in a tournament game.
I think so, too. And then we can't say anything either way.
It's rare these days you see massive blowouts in the the tournament. They usually are to keep it close for at least half the game, and then maybe they open it up towards the end, but whatnot.
All right, moving to college basketball. Gators. Go Gators. We won the tournament last year. We're looking strong this year. Can they get a 1 seed? Connecticut just lost. It looks like the door is open. I think we win the SEC tournament. The 1 seed's a lock.
Yeah.
At this point, especially with the Connecticut loss.
I got to be honest. They make the finals. It's a lock. I don't even think they have to win the SEC tournament.
Really?
How do you like that? That's a bad loss.
It is a bad loss. It is a bad loss.
They make the conference
but 1
finals,
or 2 seed,
they're good.
Whatever. Yeah.
Exactly. If they're a 1 seed, they're a 2 seed. They're going to be playing in Tampa in the first round.
Right.
So they're a 2. Okay, great. Yeah, a little home cooking. So great. Right now, UConn and them are going to be in the same bracket because of how they do 1 through 8. They match 1 to 8, 2 to 7. They're the 4-5 right now.
Yeah.
So whether one's 4, one's 5, who cares?
Right.
I mean, honestly, I'm okay with the Gators as a 2 seed. You're not gunning for them as much. But right now, if they make it to the conference finals, they're a lock for a 1 seed.
Right. So Grant was talking, his pick was Duke. I mean, you like Florida to go all the way, homer pick?
I got to be honest. I'm going with the homer pick. I like Florida. But I like almost chalk for the Final Four. I like Michigan, Arizona, Duke, and Florida. That's my Final Four.
Interesting.
Yep.
Interesting. Michigan lost. It's a bench player, LJ Kaysen. He's out for the year. I got to watch a little bit more of Michigan. I I watched the Gators game against Duke. I watched the Gator game against Arizona. I actually saw Arizona live when they played UCF. I think they're beatable. I think they're beatable in the tournament. I don't know. The team doesn't have the
Michigan,
tournament.
you're talking about specifically.
I'm talking about Arizona.
Oh,
right
Arizona.
now.
Okay.
I think the team doesn't have the tournament experience for a deep run. I think Sweet 16 is kind of a lock, but after that, I don't know. I mean, when you get down to that Sweet 16 and Elite 8 matchup, you get a lot of teams that get in there that could be sneaky. Texas Tech last year should have won that game.
Should have beat Florida.
I think they were up by 9 with like 4 minutes to go. I mean, they should have beat us.
Yep.
Right now, I think Duke has a strong case and Florida has a strong case, but I think Michigan and Arizona are beatable, and I wouldn't be too chalky with the pick. I would pick Duke and Florida in your Final Four, and I think depending on how the brackets lay out, see what happens with Michigan and Arizona. I could almost see them not getting it done.
I could see that, but Arizona, they remind me a lot of Auburn last year. They have that stud freshman. I can't remember his name offhand.
Yeah, but
Auburn had the Player of the Year, and look how far.
Yeah, but Janai Broom was like a force inside with rebounds and everything. Was a big dude in the middle. This is a guard.
It's a guard. But what do we talk about guard play all the time in the NCAA tournament?
Right.
Though?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, Carmel Anthony was really a forward,
small forward.
But okay, it was a wing. You get those one player. Dwayne Wade took Marquette all the way. Like, you get those one players.
They didn't go all the way.
No. I meant to the Final Four. Sorry, okay. All the way to the Final Four. Sorry, for them that's pretty far.
Right.
You can get those one guys who just take over, and in the NCAA tournament, it's usually a guard. Walter Clayton last year.
Yeah.
I mean. So I really like Arizona to be strong. I mean, all these teams have warts. They're all beatable.
Yeah.
Gators, Chinyelu gets in foul trouble. Hawk gets in foul trouble. They're in deep crap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All these teams have warts. There's no like one team where you're just like, whoa, gangbusters. That team is just gonna beat everybody's butt in. It's not there.
Yeah. Well, last year was chalk. All 4 1 seeds made it, which doesn't happen very often.
Doesn't happen very often.
This year, I don't think we get that. This year, it's not going to be all 4 1 seeds. But all right, moving on. We got you, Goose, the Grog House. I give you a name, and you're going to tell me how many beers you're pouring at your bar here. Okay. So let's see. For college sports, we got coming in the door. We have Ole Miss coach. Nope. I'm sorry. LSU head coach.
Oh wait, he might have been the Florida coach for 5 seconds in between.
Lane Kiffin. Lane, come have a seat. How many beers are we pouring you, Lane?
Lane gets none for him, but he'll need 12 beers for all his new girlfriends he's going to have in Baton Rouge.
Okay.
I mean, if you see his social media, like,
I don't see his social media.
He's one with the ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's friendly with his ex-wife, but she's his ex-wife.
Is he not married anymore?
No, he's not married anymore.
Oh, I didn't know that.
the 80s.
When did that happen?
A few years ago. He had some issues.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but no, they're on good terms, but he's not married.
Okay.
He liked the ladies.
For more insider details for Lane Kiffin, visit him at Lane Kiffin.
Gonna leave your program highanddry.com.
Exactly.
There you go.
Nice. All right. Sounds good. Let's go to college basketball. Who's walking in the door right now? We got Coach John Calipari, Arkansas head coach. How many beers is Mr. Calipari going to sit down and have with us?
I'm going to go 9 beers.
9 beers. That's heavy.
That is heavy. He's going to need that. I mean,
okay.
Because if you watch him, how his expressions, his mannerisms, you would think he thinks he has the best team in the country. And that ain't true.
Good.
They're good. They're good. They're
Sweet
not.
16.
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. That Florida annihilation was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that was a little bit of Arkansas played a little bit less than their capability. But John Calipari right now, you don't have the what's his name? The Temple coach, John Chaney. Remember they got that fight?
Yeah.
Yeah, so no John Chaney.
No fight.
No fighting, but 9 beers because, boy, he just...
I mean, they were within a basket of the Elite. I think, what was it? They were up by a good amount in the Elite 8 against Texas Tech, and they lost the game in overtime last year.
No,
they could have played Florida again in the Elite 8 to go to the regional final. I know last year.
Yeah. I don't
We got Boogie
see
from
it.
them.
Yeah, we did get Boogie from them. I don't see it.
Okay.
I don't see it. I think they could be an early out.
An early out?
Yeah.
Okay.
I could see them being an early out in the tournament.
Okay. All right. We're gonna do some homer picks now. We got walking in the door, Gator Athletic Director Scott Strickland. All right, Scotty, you sit down. How many beers are you having?
He gets from 1 to 12. He gets 6.
Right in the middle. Okay.
Right in the middle.
Okay.
This is
all right, let's hear this
my
out.
logic here.
Okay.
He's got 6. What is he? I mean, obviously he's the athletic director, so he covers all sports. What are the 2 main sports he's covering? Basketball and football.
Right.
Well, he got the basketball coach right.
Right.
So he don't need any beers there.
That's why he's only getting 6.
He's only getting 6. If he gets John Summerall right, he needs 0 beers, which might look like it's happening. But if he gets John Summerall right, they're going to need 0 beers because the sky's the limit. And he got the hires right then. Took him a few times, but he gets it right in the end. He gets it right in the end.
He is not liked by the fan base. I'll tell you what. I was at the Florida-Mississippi State game the other day when they presented the SEC Championship Trophy, and they were like, here's Gator Athletic Director Scott Strickland. The booze came back. This is home cooking, and the boos were so loud.
Well, he
is not liked in Florida.
I mean, if you hooked Billy Napier up to a lie detector test, even he would have told you he should have been fired years ago.
Right.
So, yes, the fact that Scott Strickland could not fire Dan Mullen quick enough or could not hired Billy Napier and then could not fire him quick enough, absolutely, and those boos are absolutely warranted. But it looks like they're on the way up.
It's so early. John Summerall hasn't coached 1 game yet.
He hasn't coached
So move on. Look who's joining Scott Summerall. Scott Strickland is John Summerall.
Exactly.
How many beers are we pouring for John? It's sitting right next to
John
Scott.
Summerall,
Is he taking some beers from Scott?
No, he's gonna get the other 6.
Okay.
He's gonna get the other 6.
All
and
right.
we already have a where I was wrong segment because the first thing I don't know if you remember the first thing I told you when they hired John Summerall was I told you I'd rather have Pat Summerall coaching.
Right.
I have changed my tune on that. Right now, I am way good with John Summerall coaching over Pat Summerall. You know, nothing to do with the fact he's not
That's
alive
fine.
anymore
I'll be
either.
your John Madden. You know what? If Summerall wins it at Florida, we're going to have a turducken. We're going to eat it right here live on the show.
Oh, bring it on. Bring it on.
All right.
Predictions.
We'll see predictions. Yeah, like I said, it's going to go reasonably chalky, but Michigan and Arizona, I'm not going to have them in my Final Four. I like Florida. I like Duke. And I'm going to have to see how the bracket plays out. UConn can always be dangerous, even though stupid Hurley's an idiot. But I'm saying, yeah, I'm homer prediction. Gators are going back-to-back again. I think they know the mission. They are playing right now with the mentality that the 2007 team was playing with in August of 2006, if that makes any sense. When they all decide to come back and they knew the mission, they knew the goal. They're like, we're going to have fun this year, and the goal is to go back-to-back and do something never done, in Florida and rarely done in college basketball, modern college basketball.
Who could forget Joe Kim Noah at the celebration? Basically announced it there at the World. They're all coming back.
Yeah, we're all coming back. Yep. So, I think they know like this is the last hurrah.
Oh, yeah.
How Condon, Chinyalu are gone. Lee and Handglotten are seniors, fine, and we'll still be competitive next year. But this is the last hurrah with this team, and I think they get it done.
I wish I could disagree with you. Just because I love disagreeing with you.
Right.
But I can't. I got the Gators going back to back, and yeah, it's a homer pick, whatever. I like Gators and Duke in the finals.
That should have been last year.
That should have been last year. So
and that would have been trouble. That would have been trouble.
Oh.
I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I was scared of Duke. I was a little scared of Houston, but I was a little bit more fearful of Duke.
I
agree.
Was Cooper Flagg and Concanipple. Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
And I don't know. I know Thompson's a good coach. That's his name, right? Kelvin Thompson. But Shire. I think Shire can make better in-game decisions.
Shire's a great coach.
And I was real worried about that. That Houston win was good for us. And when we were down, I mean, we only took the lead with 30 seconds to go.
Who knew it would take a Walter Clayton defensive play?
Right.
Who had that on their bingo card? I mean,
it was more the guy kind of messing up, though, where he just kind of.
But
but Walter Clayton started it because he jumped to scare, and then that's why he let go of the ball. And then
he made a defensive play on the ball.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. So, all right, on to our idiot of the show. this is part covering a lot of different sports, but I don't know if you saw this or we talked about it, but Bill Belichick, UNC head football coach, attends the UNC Duke game, and he brings along his 20-something-year-old girlfriend. The girlfriend is wearing a Robert Kraft massage parlor shirt at the game. Mm-hmm. What the hell is going on over here? This girl, I don't even know if you've seen, I don't know if you saw, a couple of weeks ago, Bill Belichick was on an interview on, CBS News or 60 Minutes or something like that. And they were asking him questions, and his girlfriend demanded that she was in the interview room as well.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah,
and the reporter would ask a question, and she's like, "He's not answering that." Yeah. Who the hell? I have 6 Super Bowls. I'm Bill Belichick. Shut up. What is the magical pee that's going on with her that is so good that he listens to this when he could probably get anybody hotter than her? I mean, she's attractive, but I mean, come on.
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's a fireworks show. There are sparks flying out and everything. I mean, come on. There has to be. What other explanation could it be? He ain't with her because of her scholastic achievements.
Right.
I mean, let's just call a spade a spade.
Right.
So I am with you on that. But
to wear the Robert Kraft massage parlor shirt, I mean, listen, I know you're in your 70s. This UNC thing's probably your last stop. You've done all this stuff in the NFL, but I don't think it's ever okay, no matter how old you are, to burn a bridge.
I agree. It makes him look petty. It makes a guy like that look petty.
Good call. It does make him look petty.
It does.
It does.
It really does. I have another idiot of the show that I have to get to add.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question. Are you familiar with the name Kevin Mays?
No.
Kevin Mays is going to, are you familiar with the name Rod Barnes?
No.
Rod Barnes, I would call him more, or Kyle Condor. The Rod Barnes was the head coach, Kyle Condor, the athletic director of California State Bakersfield University. And why is this significant, you ask? Or one would ask, because Kevin Mays was hired in as an assistant coach in 2022 it was, or some 2023. Well, I don't think he listed this on his job application of his other current job occupation. Mm-hmm. Any guesses on what that could be? He got arrested for being a pimp.
Yeah,
a literal pimp.
I think I heard that.
Trafficked women over 4 states.
Right.
So he's either the idiot. So Rod Barnes, the head coach, or Kyle Condor, whoever hired him, is either another idiot of the show, or a mad genius.
I gotcha.
I don't know.
They went to the George O'Leary School of Resume Writing.
George O'Leary School of Resume Writing. Absolutely.
All right.
Had to throw him in there.
All right. Come on. Well, he's our idiot of the week, and Bill Belichick's girlfriend, who I don't even know her name, but I don't care. You're an idiot of the week too for doing
Agreed.
this, and Bill Belichick for even letting this all happen. So multiple idiots of the show. So yeah, that's where we're at. So we're excited for the college basketball tournament. We'll see what happens. We'll revisit football as we get closer to August and fall practice opens up. So once again, great college football and basketball show. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the Firemark Sessions.
Absolutely, and go Gators.
Go Gators. Joining us right now on the program on the line, I've got Grant Hurd. Grant was an all-star standout at wide receiver for Ole Miss Rebels from 1996 to 2000, and he then began coaching and spent the last 25 years coaching at the collegiate level. His most recent stop was an assistant coach and wide receivers coach at Eastern Michigan. So without further ado, welcome to the program, Grant.
I appreciate you guys having me.
Sure. We're going to talk some college sports, mostly football, but a little basketball we'll throw into it here. It was a great 2025 college football season. I thought the playoff was exciting. Just wanted to get your thoughts on what you saw, and also, Eastern Michigan and the MAC and the state of affairs there.
Yeah, the playoffs was an unbelievable thing to watch, to see a team like Indiana, who I had the pleasure of coaching there for a couple of years, to get to where they've been in such a short amount of time. It's amazing what NIL can do. Mm-hmm. It can take a program that most people don't think very highly of, and it can be flipped on its head in a hurry. And so it gives every program a chance, as long as they have the resources to do it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, what Cignetti did in 2 years is just unbelievable in Indiana. I mean, it really is. So speaking of NIL, how has NIL really changed your approach with players, from a coaching standpoint?
Yeah, it's got
to be tough.
It is. It's changed from when I first got in. It was a relationship building thing where you had time, usually 2 years, a year and a half to build a relationship during recruiting and stuff. And now NIL and the transfer portal, it's like speed dating.
Yeah. Good analogy.
You know, you find them and it's going to happen quick, and it's not always right for the right reasons that kids go to certain schools. You hope it is. That sometimes it's for money, and these kids are getting real money out there. And, you know, now everything's transactional. It's not relationship wise, it's transactional. And the really great coaches have done a great job of keeping the relationship part involved. And the ones that it's transactional, it's become harder for those guys. So NIL is a real deal. It has changed how teams have a chance to win that you never hear of.
That's a good thing. I mean, you know, you never would have thought that Indiana would be a football national champion. I mean, you know, they haven't won a basketball national championship since 1987, and that's their primary sport. But, you know, and it's interesting, too. So do you feel like, you know, you were obviously probably pretty high recruited and, you know, started at Ole Miss back in the 90s. Do you feel that experience, like overall as an athlete versus what you see the athletes going through, that was the more traditional approach was kind of better overall for your growth? You know, as a youth, you know, when you're young and they're throwing bags of money at you, it's got to be very complicated to grow up versus being like kind of mentored and trained and coached. So, yeah, talk a little bit about your experience and like how that relates to now.
Yeah, like you know, when I was in school, it was you got your monthly stipend and
right.
You learned how to manage it. You learned how to, was it ever enough? Yeah, it was, but of course everybody always wants more. And but you learn how to manage it. You learn how to I got to pay my rent. I got to pay my utilities out of this money. And I couldn't just sit there and say, well, the next guy's going to come and give me more money, because I was stuck there for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
It was no leaving, and nobody was calling to say, hey, we got more money for you over here. Once you signed, you were there. And it made me appreciate what I had. And, you know, the little bit of struggles we did go through, it made us closer as a team, I thought, you know, because everybody was going through the same stuff.
Yeah.
If somebody didn't have something, you helped them out and whatnot. And it just brought us closer together as a team.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's a more cohesive unit because you're all going through the same experience, and you don't have guy A making more money than guy B, and there's just this gap. And yeah, when you have a shared experience, it's definitely better for everybody to go through that. What do you see based on, you know, we have NIL and everything, but the future of college football and college sports in general, now that we're kind of in this environment?
You know, the ones that can transition and keep the relationship piece, those are the ones that are going to do the best, because kids still want to be coached. Kids still want to be developed. And yes, they might have gone to a school for a higher price tag, but ultimately they still want to go to the NFL. And so to get there, they know they still have to be developed. They have to be coached. And the ones that handle that process the best are going to be the ones that have more success. So, you know, Coach Signetti, yeah, they pumped a lot of money into the program, but he still had to coach those guys.
Right.
And he still had to develop those guys and get them to do what he needed them to do. And, you know, from a coach's standpoint, you're having to deal with players being disgruntled, because I might be making less money than another guy, but I might be starting. And now why am I not making as much as him, but I'm playing more than him, and having to deal with all those issues that come up. And so, you know, the coaches that do it well are going to have success.
Right. Right. I mean, it's got to be a tough balance. And you had brought up before too, you know, you had enough money, you're at the stipend. So it kind of teaches you to adult, you know, while you're in college. You know, like you got to manage your money. I have to pay rent. I have to pay this. And when you're throwing bags of money.
Adult, what's that? I mean, what is that?
It gets hard because these kids now, they have agents. They have their circle. They got to be careful with their circle, especially with the amount of money they're getting. How do they handle the pressure of having that money and people asking them for that money? and understanding that the amount of money they get now might not be what you're getting later on. So how do you manage that amount of money? You know, I can't just go buy 15 new cars. Right now,
and they don't get
right
that.
Now you might be able to, but
Right.
can I handle managing this money so it actually works for me and I'm not working for my money my whole life?
And are they understanding too from the aspect of like that they might be getting this bag of money now, and the NFL is not guaranteed, and there's such a low percentage of college athletes that actually go play in the NFL. Everybody going into college can't be like, oh yeah, I'm just here for a couple of years and then I'll be in the NFL. Like, you have to understand that it's so low a percentage of people go, and you know they have to manage it, or they're just going to blow it, and then they think I'm going to the NFL anyway.
That's right. And what people don't realize about the NFL is there's, I don't know, say 10 guys on the team that you see come across a ticker making real money.
Yeah.
The rest of them are making league minimum, which is good money by any means. Don't get me wrong, but they're getting taxed very heavily in the NFL. And so, you know, you might make it for a year, you might make it for two, but it's not money where I can sit there and say, I don't have to work again. So They're going to have to manage that money. They're going to have to learn how to invest that money. And so I hope these guys that are making this money in college are doing that. I know some of them are doing a really good job, and I'm sure there's some that aren't.
Yeah.
And, you know, the little bit of money I had when I was in school, I wish I would have invested it now.
Yeah.
I wish I would have saved $100 a month and said, I'm going to invest it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I was making the money they're making now, I'd invest probably 75% of it.
Sure.
And
and
have
then
a ball
retire at 40. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. So I know it's early, but what are you looking at toward 2026? Any predictions on how teams are going to do or anything like that?
Well, you know, the haves are going to still have them.
Mm-hmm.
The Alabamas, the Clemson, you know, Clemson got into the transfer portal now. So they're still Clemson, like regardless of what kind of seasons they've had. These kids grew up knowing Clemson football is winning football.
Right.
Alabama football, people look at Alabama where they're at now and what Coach DeBoer has done over there, but you know they're still winning games.
Mm-hmm.
They're still making the playoffs. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so there's always going to be a dark horse. You know, people look at Ole Miss; they were a dark horse, but Ole Miss has been playing football forever and putting out players every year. They just got them all at the same time at the right time. So there's going to be a dark horse that comes out of nowhere. But the top teams are still going to be the top teams. The ones that are pumping money into their programs, those are the ones, the Texases, Alabamas, Ohio States. And that's why you see the school pledging more money into their NIL program so they can at least have try to get an advantage or close the gap to for some of them.
Right. And, you know, when players are moving through the portal, I mean, you look at the coaches moving through portals too. And the big one, you know, in the offseason, Lane Kiffin going, you know, from Ole Miss to LSU. I mean, hard to go in the same, well, they're not in the same division anymore, but at least the same conference. I mean, you know, that must be hard for the players too when you're with the same coaches.
Mid-season, mind you.
Yeah.
Because he didn't coach in the playoffs.
Right. Yeah. Any thoughts on that?
It's you know, it's crazy because I know nobody wants to talk about it, but kids are getting talked to towards the middle of the season about transfer. Like, if you come here, we have this for you. And
that's
you know,
allowed? They can talk to them in the middle of the season?
Yeah, no, it's not allowed, but it happens.
It happens, just not allowed.
Oh, it happens.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
The one thing about college football is we live in the world of the gray. If there's a gray area, we're going to find it.
Yeah.
But, you know, so these kids' attentions are shorter nowadays, and they're looking for the fast dollar because it's there.
Yeah.
And so, you know, people are mad at Lane Kiffin for leaving, but you know what? At the end of the day, if I was an engineer and somebody offered me more money or a better job, nobody gets mad at that engineer for leaving.
Right.
If he perceives it's better for his family. So he's got to make that choice. The only thing that sucks is for those kids at Ole Miss when it happened during the playoffs, you know, you'd like to sit there and say, let Lane finish what he started.
Sure.
But I also understand Ole Miss's side too, that you decide to take this job,
Right.
and we want somebody that wants to be here.
Right. I get it.
So
I get both ends.
It's a give and take on both sides, and you know, it's crazy because the NFL is giving the model for college. Like, you can't talk to a coach till they're done with the playoffs or they're done with their season, or you can't talk to players until they're done, whatever the case is. So there just needs to be some guardrails put on this thing. So
before it gets way out of control.
Yeah, before it gets even more out of control.
Yeah, more out of control. Sure. All right, shifting real quick. Last question. The NCAA tournament's coming up. Who do you got? Who do you got?
Oh man,
who do you got? Florida Gators? No?
Nah, you know, I gotta go with. I'm gonna go with the Duke Blue Devils.
Duke Blue Devil. Okay.
See if the Dukes can pull it off this year. They're always in it. And,
yeah.
You know, my son's a big Duke fan, so I'm gonna cheer on his team to see if we can get there. You know, deep down, I'm still an Ole Miss Rebel, so I always want them to try to do their best and make a deep run in the tournament. Right.
All right, sounds good. We'll see what happens. It should be an exciting NCAA tournament for sure. And after we get through the transfer portal and we approach the season, we'll have you back on and do a preview maybe in August when the season starts up. It'll be real exciting to see what the teams are looking at for 2026 in college football. So, Grant, thanks again for joining us. We really appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
All right, take care.
Take care.
See ya.